Hello and welcome. Do you feel responsible for the emotions of another when you have to say no to them? And does this stop you from saying no only to feel frustrated again and angry with yourself that again you didn't speak your truth in the situation? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. So if we just look at the facts of saying no to our significant other or our partner, really we're just communicating to them what we need, what we like, what we don't like, and how we prefer to do something. And this gives information to our partner, so going forward, they know something more about us and how to serve us when the situation comes up again, or how they can best help fulfill our needs. But sometimes when we do set this boundary by saying no, we're going to get disappointment. We're going to get maybe some unhappiness from the other person. Maybe they'll even be angry. But this is where we then begin to work and communicate so that we understand where we both are, and then we move forward with it. Just communication. But as a people pleaser, it can become very difficult because it's not just the disappointment from the other person or their unhappiness or disagreement of our saying no that we're dealing with. We're also dealing with our own wounding over this matter because we hear the disappointment and happiness as something terribly wrong with ourselves. And this can be a very uncomfortable place to be. And we came by this honestly, through growing up with our families, society, and our own particular perception and beliefs that we made about things growing up. We learned that when something in our environment was unsettled or somebody was unhappy, we learned that it was something wrong with us. It was our fault. And that is scary. That is scary for a young person. So to survive, to feel safe, we did what we could to make the environment okay. We said what we had to say, helpful, anything we needed to do to make our environment outside us feel okay or be okay so that we could feel okay inside of ourselves. So we took this going forward, and anytime somebody disagreed with us or had something negative to say, we just took it like it was us, such a wound. It was our sense of shame and that we were at fault. So this had become a habit that we think, when people are unhappy or disagree with us, that it has something to do with us. So we stay away from that. I mean, who wants to experience that? But the problem is, if we don't go there and experience this feeling, we're not going to be able to say no and communicate to people what we want and what we don't want so that we can set up good relationships going forward. So I like to say there's some bad news and there's some good news on this, and I'll start with the bad news. The bad news is the only way around feeling more comfortable with saying no is to be with the uncomfortable feeling. So we need to go through the uncomfortable feeling in order to lessen its impact on us going forward. So that means we have to be willing to say no and be with the uncomfortable feeling, so that by becoming familiar with it and being with it, it lessens its impact on us, and we're not so afraid of it. The good news is, with practice and patience and a lot of self-care, this can be done. And I like to say a great place to start is just dealing with the small no's in our life. Like, no thanks, I don't want any more ice cream, or no, I don't want to make a donation today. Whatever the easy no's, the simple no's are for you in your life, we can practice saying them, and then we can really just get a sense of, surviving it, and saying no isn't really going to hurt us. And just little by little, we can begin to lessen that horrid feeling that comes over us when we have to say no. and instead start building that self-worth and belief in our opinions and our own desires and wants in any relationship. Yeah, because and in this way, we start building the type of relationship that is respectful, that is, so that we know your partner knows what you need and we can communicate that to each other and have fulfilling, enjoyable relationships. So I'd like to know your takeaway on this, and I'd love for you to leave your comments below. And like and subscribe if you'd like to get more content like this. And also, if you'd like to get some personalized support in how people-pleasing affects your life, click on the link below and book yourself a complimentary mini coaching session with me. And I want to thank you again for being here. Be kind to yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye.